morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day out here. I'm trying to get all caught up on all my spring cleaning here out in the garden, and today I'm going to be cutting back my hydrangea bushes. Luckily, it's a little bit later. I could have done this a couple weeks ago, but it's a good time right now because you can actually see all the leaves and which ones are really great, so you can know where to cut them back. All the hydrangeas I have are Panicle Hydrangeas, so that's what I'm going to be talking about mostly today. If you want to know more about and macrophylla hydrangeas, there's videos on that, but today I'm mostly pruning back Panicle Hydrangeas. So I'm going to get in there real close. It's in the shade here, so I'm hoping you can see really close to these ones that I have, how well I prune them back, and the things that I look for. So let's get started. Okay, these are the two Limelight Panicle Hydrangeas that I have in the front. I love them so much. This is their third year, so I'm really hoping that they go crazy. I did leave these little poofs just to give a little winter interest, but I'm ready to get rid of the dead leaves and to see some new green growth. These can get 6 to 8 feet tall. Let me scoot back to give you a little perspective. Okay, so here's the front of my house. So I have the two right here. I think I want to add a third one here just because I just think it will balance it out a little bit more. There is my sprinkler container there though, so that's why I hadn't planted one there, but I think I can make it work and still be able to access that. But I wanted to get 2 more. In fact, I bought 2 more already, if you guys saw in a previous video, but I'm going to plant here just to balance it out a little bit. And I'm going to have to move these boxwoods forward and rearrange some things. I'll probably have to rearrange those and move those two to a different spot, even though I love them here. I haven't done any spring cleaning here. I need to come in here and cut back and do that. That's on my list to do. And then I have another hydrangea here. I'll put it on the screen what it is. Fruit punch. I think that's what it's called. If I'm wrong, I'll put it on the screen. But I love this one. It got a little scorched last year, got a little hot, so I'm going to give it 1 more year and see how it does in this spot, and then I'll move it. But it is another Panicle Hydrangea. It is a little bit smaller. Okay, let's get started on these. So I'm going to start off by cutting them back by a third. So now that I have them cut down by a third, I can see a little bit better. I'm going to come back and cut off any of these little tiny branches that are just spindly guys, because I want it to put all its energy into these thicker branches. So I'm going to cut that off. This one I'm going to cut off completely because it looks dead. Anything that's crossing, like this guy right here. Can you see this guy crossing down here? I'm gonna cut that off. Big cut, but I think it'll just be better in the long run. This one's crossing up between this other one here. Can you see that? So I'm going to cut that. There's a lot going on in the middle here, so I think I'm going to cut this. Better and more airy. I'm going to cut this back to here and this back to here. And it's looking better for sure. Let's take a look at this one. I'm going to come and take these spindly guys off. Cut that one here. Here. You'll see how this branch has this here and then it has the 2 coming up. So that one kind of looks dead, but I'm just going to cut it there to leave that kind of U shape on there. This one I'm going to cut back to those leaves because that looks better down at the base. Cut off these spindly guys. That one's kind of spindly too, so I'm going to cut that down. Just want these other ones to become stronger. See how this branch has this U coming up? I'm going to cut here and here. I'm going to take that spindly guy off. And then I'm going to cut off these kind of bent spindly branches. And I'll leave this one to get stronger because I feel like that's a good one. I'm going to cut this back and make that U shape again and cut these side guys off. Okay, what to do about this? This is spindly and dead. I'm going to cut that off. This is kind of spindly. This back. This guy This guy's sticking out weird. I cut this one off. And then these guys down at the bottom, I'm gonna cut off. And cut that back to there. This one's here's crossing. I'm just gonna take that out, and I'm gonna take this out too. Okay, I think that's good. That looks so much better. This one looked better structured than the other one, so I felt like it was a little bit easier to see. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, now I'm gonna prune back this little guy. I'm gonna clean it out first. It's a little windy. There's a storm blowing in. It's gonna be here Sunday, I think. But this is where I have another hydrangea. This is a little lime, so it's a little bit smaller. I'm gonna come back and cut this one. This one's structured pretty nice. I'm just gonna come cut it back. It's got nice leaves here, so I can see where exactly to cut it. And this one shouldn't be too hard since it's kind of small. This is only its second year. This, I think this is also a little lime. I had to move it from another spot last fall because just needed a better spot, and I think this spot's perfect, and I'm so glad to see that it's doing well. And this one's going to be super easy to prune. Excited about that. We've had a lot of wind, and so I have sticks everywhere. We have this elm tree. It's kind of a junk tree. I love it anyway, but it's kind of messy. But I love the shade that it provides for now, and as soon as our other trees get more mature, we'll probably take it down. But for right now, I love it because it's our shade. But it's messy. So I want to give you a little perspective about where I am, even though it's kind of messy here. I don't care. It's real life. That's the one I just pruned. Here's the other one back here that I'm going to prune. That one's a Reblooming Hydrangea. I'll put the name on the screen because I can't remember exactly what it was, but these are right by our creek here. So I'm going to do that one next. So I'm going to bring you in a little closer for this because this one's a little slower, but you can see some green leaves popping through, like right here. There's one. So I'm going to cut down to that one. And then there's one here, and I'm going to cut all the way back to that. There's two buds. This is what they look like when they haven't greened out yet, but there's two buds there. So I'm going to clip down to that one. And then these other ones I'm going to do here and make that V. This guy I'm going to cut out. And that guy. This I can kind of see two buds here. You can see that right there. So I'm going to cut. This I'm going to cut here, here, here by these nice two leaves. This one I'm going to cut about the same height. You can kind of see a little node right there. Same with this one down here, and I'm going to make kind of a dome shape. And then this one I'll probably cut back. You can kind of see some little buds hopefully here. This I'm going to cut to this bud segment here. Can you see that? This has some nice buds down here, but I'm just going to cut here. I think it'll be okay. I don't want it too short there. I want it to keep that shape. Cut this one here and this one here. And then this one I'm going to cut to here. So we'll see how that one does. This one's kind of broken, but I'm just going to make a nice cut just below it. Okay, there's that one. I'm excited to see how this one does this year. I planted it last fall and it was beautiful. So I'm excited to see what it does this year. Okay, so I'm done with that one. I added some hollytone. Now I'm going to come along this side of the creek. You can see my pansies are blooming down here. It's really dry down here. Needs a little water. We're getting some rain. But look at my Brenner, so pretty. Flowering with the orange and the white. Oh, I just love it. I moved this hydrangea. It was up there. This is I think it's a little quick fire. They're blooms are so pretty. They're a little unique. I'll put a picture of it up. But it's doing really good and it's leafing out, and so I'm so happy about it. It had a good structure before. I'm not gonna have to do too much to this one, I don't think. But I think this is a really good spot. It'll get a lot of morning sun and that'll be protected in the afternoon. But see how they have this V structure here? So it comes up to here and then it has this V. So I'm gonna cut that off to the first bud there, and here to this bud. This one I'm gonna cut to this bud. See how this one's crossing right here? So I think I'm gonna cut this off because I don't want that crossing. This I'm gonna cut to this bud here. This to this bud a little lower just to get good structure. This is another V down here. You can see this V here. Can you see that V? And so I'm gonna cut to the top of those buds like that. Here's another V structure here. So I'm gonna cut to this bud and to this bud. This I'm gonna cut to this bud, cut this off, cut this off, that. Here, it's kind of a tri thing. This down to here. This one a little lower. That one kind of looks dead, but it's probably not. This down to this one. These down to these buds here. I think that's pretty good. Like I said, I feel like this one looks pretty good. This is crossing here. I'm just gonna get rid of it. Okay. Last area. Ignore all the weeds back there, guys. That's my project today, actually, to build a window box and weed. But I gotta get through this first. I'm filming like 4 or 5 videos today. So look at these beautiful allium. These are the gladiator alliums. I cannot wait for them to come up through these hydrangeas once they leaf out. So this is on the side of our court here. Here's our shed, and then the creek's on this side down here. I have all these incredible hydrangeas. So excited. I planted these last fall for the wedding, and I wanted to get them in the fall so they're really good in the spring, and they're just leafing out so well. I'm not gonna show you the close-up of me cutting these back because it's gonna be pretty simple. I'm just gonna go down a third to like here. And these only have like 6 or 7 main stems, so it shouldn't be too hard. So I'm gonna do this now. This is my last bunch of hydrangeas. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for following along how I cut back my Panicle Hydrangeas. I have a few other things to do in the yard today. I'm going to cut back my sword ferns before they start growing because it's going to be hard to cut those back. I have some front yard cleanup to do, and my husband is also going to help me on this window box that we're going to do by the shed. So lots of new exciting things coming, and I should probably get out and do some of that weeding. This is a big yard. It's a lot of work, and I'm taking it day by day. That's all you can do. So anyway, thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.